The Daily Mail. Are men to blame for the UK fertility crisis? Women want children, but are forced into freezing their eggs due to the mating gap where they can't find a partner to commit. All right, so I got an article for you today. This article came out a couple weeks ago, and I've been hoping to get to it. Actually, about a week ago. I've been hoping to get to it, but I was busy with work. So I got off my schedule of video production. So let's dive into this article. Before we do, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed because YouTube does unsubscribe people every single day. You can find me on Rumble and on Twitter. Britain's fertility crisis was laid bare yesterday as stark figures revealed birth rates across the country were at their lowest since records began, with numerous factors blamed for the decline, from women wanting to pursue careers to not being able to afford homes and childcare. I think we can just break it down to women wanting to pursue careers. That's what did this whole thing in, really, is giving women the notion that they should be out there slaying the dragon instead of letting men do it. It's that simple. For a population to sustain itself, the total fertility rate, the number of babies each woman has in her lifetime, must exceed 2. Right, so to maintain your current population, you need to have 2 kids, right? Because there are 2 people in a relationship. But some people die young from disease, accidents, etc. So you need to have slightly more than 2 people. You need to have slightly more than 2. So like most couples should have 2 children. Some should have 3. And that's how you maintain your population. But last year, England and Wales recorded an average of 1.44 children per woman of childbearing age. Now, some experts are claiming the problem is being fueled by men who are unable to commit to traditional family life. Why would men not want to commit to traditional family life? Is it because women are not committing to traditional family life? Is it because the courts are against men in the sanctity of marriage? Because if it was fair, I mean, I don't know what England's like. I know that there are countries in Europe where they don't have family courts. I'm assuming that it's not that case in England, or, well, I mean, they probably don't have family courts in England, but they probably do have like a criminal or a legal system that is stacked against men in England. I don't know. If I have anybody who's from the UK watching this, please go down in the comments and explain the legal system around divorce to me. Are men getting the short end of the stick in divorce? Because I know that there are some countries where it's like, yeah, you just like go your separate ways and you figure it out, basically. I mean, the courts don't get involved unless you have to. Let's see here. In her 2023 book, Marcia Inhorn, a medical anthropologist at Yale University, okay, so we can ignore everything this woman says, coined the term mating gap to describe how it's men rather than women who are to blame for the unstoppable decline in the overall population, with economic crisis predicted if it continues. Yeah, so like I said, we can ignore everything she says. She's blaming men because men don't want to get married. It's their fault. They don't want to settle down into a relationship. No, it's women's fault because women control access to mating. What do men want? They want to insert themselves into a warm body. I don't know what to tell you. I know there are men out there who are going to be like, no, it's not me. I don't care about that, blah, 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 so on and so forth, et cetera, et cetera. I just want to have kids or whatever, you know. Her research for Motherhood on Ice, the mating gap and why women freeze their eggs, found a pattern of women wanting families but were either single or in very unstable relationships with men who are unwilling to commit. Well, why are they single? Are these women hideously ugly? Are they in just a wasteland where there's no men? Because if a woman wants a date, she can get one pretty easily. All you have to do is go up to a guy and bat your little eyes and he'll be like, oh, hi, how are you? If he's single, he's going to be like, oh, great, somebody's finally interested in me.
See, when you flirt with a guy, you think, I'm just flirting, no big deal. But the guy is thinking, finally, somebody who wants to sleep with me.
Indeed, growing numbers of young women are now being driven to freeze their eggs, with the procedure seen as a backup plan given they have not yet met Mr. Right. That's the problem right there. They have not yet met Mr. Right. In the eyes of these women, Mr. Right is, Brad Pitt on steroids, but taller. So, earlier this year, I don't know how to say that, ex-Geordie Shore star Vicky Pattison revealed she underwent egg freezing last year because asking now husband Erkin Ramadan to be a dad when he really wasn't ready would be pretty unfair and irresponsible. Well, why is this guy not ready? I think I know why. But See, here is this caption. This is him. Yeah. She wants to have kids, but he's not ready. Well, if she is a star of a popular TV show in Britain, doesn't she have enough money to just hire help to raise the children? But he doesn't want to have kids yet. So, I mean, the reason you're not ready to have kids is because you don't want to take on that responsibility. Well, if you have the money, just hire help. You don't have that responsibility then, really. What is he busy doing? At the time, Vicky, who shared the process with her 5.5 million Instagram followers, was 35 and engaged to Mr. Ramadan, who was 29. Okay, so you're robbing the cradle, and you're wondering why this guy is not ready. See, the reason this guy is not ready is because he doesn't want to have kids with you specifically. What are you doing with a man who's so much younger than you, woman? 6 years younger than you. You should be 100% away from this man. He's chasing after his mommy fetish. These men who go after these older women all the time they have mommy issues. She told the Times, I was aware that post 35, the health of my eggs and the viability of them seriously deteriorated. But he is 6 years younger than me, and men mature later than women. He's in his 20s, bless him. So asking him to be a dad when he really wasn't ready, I felt that was pretty unfair and irresponsible. No, it's irresponsible of you to be dating a man who's significantly younger than you, period. You went after this guy because you think he's hot. That's irresponsible. You go after a man who's older than you, who you find attractive. Maybe he's not going to be nearly as attractive as a man who's 6 years younger than you. Probably not. But still, that's what you ladies need to be doing. You need to be going after older men. That's just how it is. I don't know why women would be interested in younger men. I know why, actually, because they're hot. But I don't know why, from a practical point of view, you'd be interested in pursuing a younger man. Because from a practical point of view, older men are going to provide you with what you want ultimately. In a 30-minute BBC documentary, Egg Freezing and Me, referring to the rise in women making the same choice, she also admitted, I do think some people are influenced by celebrity culture and the trend for high-profile women to choose egg freezing. Well, don't be spreading your personal business around the internet and around the world, on TV, etc. Don't tell anybody that you're freezing your eggs. Whose business is that but yours? However, I do think the huge rise in egg freezing can be attributed to something entirely different. Times are just changing. My decision might not be for everyone, but I'm not asking it to be. Vicky is not the only one, however, facing this predicament. Here's another woman. Who is this here? Maybe that's the same one. Vicky, this Vicky person, yeah. That must be her. Yeah, so I don't know what... These women are just acting like children. That's the problem. They're sitting here going, oh, men mature more slowly than women do. She's finally ready at 35 to have children? Well, her boyfriend at 29 is not ready. Maybe at 35 he will be. You know, these women are just big children. They're just grown children. Because she should have been making these decisions at 25 at the latest. Going, oh, well, I'm with a man who's, 35 now. I'm 25. He can give me all the kids I need because he can, because he's 35. It doesn't matter. He's not going to change anything in his biology. He can just give me 15 kids now. Obviously, you wouldn't want to have 15 kids at 25, but maybe if you started at 18, you could have 15 kids, but at 35 or 25, it's too late. You maybe have 10. But the point I'm trying to make is just that she's the one who's being immature and starting late, not her boyfriend. And it's just so ridiculous. These women blame everything but themselves. Earlier this year, Made in Chelsea alumna Sophie Herman, 36, revealed she had frozen her eggs to give herself more options. Those eggs might not be viable. And okay, so at 36, why are you not going, okay, I'm just going to get pregnant now. I'm going to get pregnant today. I'm going to go find a man who is looking for marriage, and I'm just going to fall in love and get pregnant. And that's how it's going to be. Who is this person here? And in June, 34-year-old Beyond Chelsea star Rosie Fortescue, who is also single, admitted she froze her eggs last year. Why are you single? I mean, I don't like her face, but her figure looks good. So why are you single? I don't understand why these women are single. They are not old, and they are attractive, and they could easily, if you think, oh, well, 34 is too old, over the hill, I don't want to be with a 34-year-old, then she should get with a 54-year-old man. Because a 54-year-old man's probably going to look and go, yeah, shit, that's fine. 34 is great. Let's do it. Earlier this year, Made in Chelsea, and we just read these two things here. It came after telling Mail Online she had contemplated the idea for 4 years and was ultimately waiting for Mr. Right to come along. For 4 years, you couldn't find a man to settle with? In 4 years. Looking like this, starting at age 32, she couldn't find a single man that met her criteria. It's the men's fault, though. It's totally the men's fault. 100% the men's fault. But the trend is not limited to celebs, with social media users taking to platforms to share their own egg freezing journeys. I like how they're just showing their hand. They're like, here, these are all my cards. It's the men's fault. The women are the ones freezing their eggs. How is it the men's fault? The women are the ones seeing this as an option. The women are the ones who are chasing after younger men, much younger men, when they should be chasing after much older men. I'm not joking. A 20-year-old woman should be chasing after a 45-year-old man, minimum. That's just how it should work. If you guys want to settle and have money, this is what you need to be doing. Period. All these women are like, oh, I need to have a 25-year-old stud who has money. Okay, well, that's like by far the exception. In one TikTok video, Jessa Choi, who goes by the username whatever and boasts 65,000 followers, also said, I don't know if it's because I'm dramatic or because it's Aries season and I'm an Aries rising. Yeah, I think it's because you're dramatic. But I have decided to freeze my eggs. Oh, it's not looking great out there. I don't want to settle. I want to raise my bar even higher. Yeah, even higher. The 28-year-old from New York added, I'm still in my 20s, but I wanted to do it while I had the chance. And it's been a crazy process. Right, you wanted to do it as early as possible, but you should just... 28? Are you disgusting looking? I doubt it. She's an influencer, and she has 65,000 followers, so she probably looks pretty good. See, these women have unrealistic expectations. They have these expectations they're going to get a celebrity. How many celebrities are there? And they get so much poon thrown at them, they don't need you. Unless you have a chart here, or a graph. How the number of UK women freezing their eggs has soared. Oh, okay, yeah, well, it's gone up to number of cycles. Almost 5,000 in recent years. Oh, this is the influencer. I just said, she's an influencer, she's probably not his. Yeah, she's an attractive woman. So she should have so much D coming at her that she just gets to go, oh yeah, you're the one. I mean, seriously, this woman gets hit on all the time, I'm sure. A woman that is this attractive, why is it that she doesn't have options? The bar is in hell, girl. You deserve better. You're talking about the bar is in hell. You set the bar, but you set your bar so freaking high you can't get a single man to go out with you? You know, when I was dating, these women always had such negative attitudes, such manipulation, it was all games all the time. And this is what men are putting up with, is these women playing these games. And the men will put up with it. And we could talk about why games exist, etc., blah, 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 all that stuff. There's plenty of channels out there to talk about this stuff. But the thing is these women are not bringing their best, and they're expecting to get a man who is the best. And there's only, a small percentage of men. They're looking for a top 5% man, top 10% man, maybe top 20% man. And maybe in the looks department, this woman is a top 10% woman. Okay, that's great. So you should be getting with a top 10% man. But are you a top 10% woman in personality? Are you just like every other American woman with a negative attitude and manipulation and games and always just being abrasive to your man? You don't have to be that way. You can be nice, you can be kind, you can be submissive, etc. But they don't want to do that. Latest figures from the Office for National Statistics also suggest the average age of parents has hit a record high, 30.9 for women and 33.7 for men. As marks a rise in almost a fifth among women and sixth among men since the early 60s when records began. In her book, Motherhood on Ice, The Mating Gap and Why Women Freeze Their Eggs, Marcia Inhorn, a medical anthropologist at Yale, also concluded that it was men, not women, who were the problem. We already read that part. What the hell? Why are they repeating it here? She conducted interviews with 150 American women who had frozen their eggs. Not a representative sample size for the entire population, but maybe for egg freezing. Most were heterosexual women who wanted a partner they could have and raise children with. But contrary to the commonly held notion that most professional women were freezing their eggs for their careers, there was what she dubbed a mating gap. Egg freezing was not about their careers. It was about being single or in very unstable relationships with men who were unwilling to commit to them. Latest figures from the Human Fertilization and Embryology Authority show there were more than 46,000 egg storage cycles in 2022, almost double the 2,500 in 2019. So the average gap of parents hits record highs. What is this graph is showing here? Got a guy freezing some eggs. The process is deemed mostly very safe by the HFEA. Some women, however, do experience side effects from their fertility drugs. The process is also financially restrictive. The average cost for an egg freezing package in the UK stands at around £4,000. Storage costs are also extra and vary between clinics. On average, this falls between £15 and 50 pounds annually. The combined freezing and thawing process can cost up to an eye-watering 8,000 pounds in total. Critics of the egg freezing industry have also warned clinics are preying on women's anxieties to sell them a treatment they may not need and may be unlikely to work. They are. So women, if you want to have kids, start early. That's really what it is. You have to start early. Stop drinking the feminist Kool-Aid and start early. Don't be like, oh, I went to school to get this degree. Man, I wasted all this time and money to do this thing. Now I want to use it. No. Like, I'm going to college to find a man. That's what you should be doing. Going to college to find a husband. According to these stark figures released by the ONS yesterday, the City of London had the lowest fertility rate at an average of 0.55 babies per woman. Cambridge recorded the second lowest fertility rate at 0.91, followed by Brighton and Hove at 0.98 babies per woman. The collapse of fertility rate is part of a wider trend that has been observed since 2010 and more broadly since the 60s. What is this here? Currently, the fertility treatment has a success rate of up to 40%. Wow, great. Around a third of IVF cycles among under 35s result in a live birth in 2019 in the UK, yet this dropped to just 4% if you're over 40. Yeah, so ladies, I can't tell you enough how you just have to go out and find a man when you're in your 20s and start making babies. That's it. And if you're like, oh, well, all the men my age are too immature. Oh my gosh. Find a man who's 20 to 30 years older than you. It's that simple. I don't know what to tell you. If you think these men are somehow inferior because they're so much older than you, no, it actually has nothing to do with being inferior. I'm telling you right now, if these men are single and they're in their 40s or 50s, first off, they probably are divorced. Second off, they probably struggled when dating because women are so freaking impossible in the West, especially in the United States. We're going to move past this video because it looks freaking annoying. Okay. Birth rates among women in their early 20s have fallen almost 80% since the 60s, from 182 births per 1,000 women to just 38.6 births per 1,000 women today. Put another way, only a fifth of British women will have had a child by age of 25. Today, the lowest proportion ever. Experts also blame the drop on lifestyle factors like the rising prevalence of obesity in many countries, which is thought to be having a downward impact on fertility. Yeah, you know why? I can answer this question for you immediately. You're correct. It's having a downward impact on fertility because men don't want to stick their dicks into pigs. It's that simple. Okay? Ridiculous. Rising cost of living pressures, especially the price of childcare and housing, is another factor that puts a dampener on couples having children or deciding to have more than one, and can bring the total fertility rate down as a result. Last year, TV host Victoria Coren Mitchell revealed she had given birth to daughter June Violet at the age of 51 after keeping her pregnancy a secret. Her delivery followed that the supermodel Naomi Campbell, 54, who welcomed her second child in June of 2023 and told fans it's never been too late to become a mother. But at the time, fertility specialists told Mail Online they feared such success stories could convince women they can naturally conceive later in life and that fertility treatment is easy. My mother had 2 miscarriages in her 20s. So don't put this off, ladies. You are going to be running the risk that if you do get pregnant, you're going to lose the child, or it's going to come out with some sort of deformity or mental disability, or you're just not going to be able to get pregnant, period. Start in your early 20s. Start trying to find a man immediately. As soon as you hit adulthood, start going, I think I want to settle down and have children. That's what you have to do. You're going to have to put off your career. You're not going to be able to focus on that. You have to focus on family first. Stop listening to the woke. Focus on family first. For most women aged over 45, the odds of becoming pregnant naturally stand at around 1%. Why did I have a picture of Elon Musk here? So the threat of underpopulation has also been a pet topic of eccentric billionaire Elon Musk, who has preached about it for years. In 2017, he said that the number of people on Earth is accelerating towards collapse, but few seem to notice or care. Yeah, I mean, that's his kind of pet project. I don't think it's accelerating towards collapse. I think we're going to see a huge drop-off the way we're going, but we'll see what happens. I don't know how to say that. I'm not going to try to. Dr. Saris, a consultant in reproductive medicine and the director of King's Fertility in London, told Mail Online a lot of people also don't realize how things change with age or they think because they're older, fertility treatment can help them. No, fertility treatment can't help you. Actually, fertility treatment does not overcome aging per se, right? Other experts have also cited the environment as a reason behind the dip fertility rate. The dip in fertility rate, do you mean? With people fearing that they will worsen their carbon footprint by having a child, or that their children will have a bleak future due to climate change. Yeah, I've known people who don't have children because they're concerned about global warming. And people have said, I don't think the human population is going to be here much longer. I've heard couples say that, married couples. And this is 30 years ago, almost like 25 years ago, something like that. Well, what does much longer mean? You could have had a child who's an adult by now, easily. So I don't know what to tell you about that. I don't think that global warming is going to be a threat to humanity's survival on the planet for a long time, but it will eventually if it keeps going, which it appears to not be stopping or slowing down even. It will eventually be a serious threat to us, and now hopefully we can tech our way out of that, but this is what you get when you have a huge population of people who burn things every single day. So, in the UK, ex-Tory MP Miriam Cates has long led calls for pro-natal policies to improve the birth rate, including tax breaks for stay-at-home mothers. In a speech at National Conservatism Conference last year, she told delegates fertility rates decline has not occurred in spite of the economic and social policies of the last 30 years. So there you go. In the UK, they're trying to make it economically viable for people to have children and not work. But it's not working because women have drank the Kool-Aid and think they need to be strong and independent. It is a direct result of how those policies have failed to value and reward the behaviors that led to starting a family. Okay. She added, having children is about as much of a lifestyle choice as eating. It is a fundamental for survival. The threat of underpopulation has also been a pet topic of eccentric billionaire Elon Musk, who has preached about it. Yeah, and we've read that already. Then in 2021, Musk has 11 known children, warned that civilization is going to crumble if people don't have more children. At Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's Etruria, I don't know how to say that, political festival in Rome last December, Musk also said, "My advice to all government leaders and people to make sure you have children to create a new generation of the culture of Italy. Japan and France will disappear." There you go. Well, that's the end of that. Let's see what it says down here in the comments. Isla says, there's a housing crisis, plenty of unemployment, and most towns in England have rapidly outgrown their infrastructure. But we are underpopulated. It doesn't feel underpopulated out here. The issue with England is it is it's an island, and they keep letting in foreigners. It's not underpopulated, and they're growing the population by allowing foreigners to come in. We have Fair Comment here says, there are a lot of reasons, one being that women were encouraged to believe their careers should come first, and they can add in children when they're, I guess maybe he's supposed to say ready after that, I don't know. Some find they left it too late. Another reason might be the difficulty in building a home even with two workers. Housing costs never goes down, and when they want children, they really can't afford it. Some choose never to have children because, well, they never wanted them. My daughter is one of those. My son was 40 before his first child was born. His wife, 39. She had a rough time. They almost certainly won't have another 2 year. Okay, 2 years later? Oh, another 2 years. Okay. With the way this country is going too, who wants to bring a child into it? Threats everywhere and nothing being done about it. I've had 3. I'm not sure I'd have any if I was just starting out, right? I mean, things are falling apart in England. We have these problems of crime and poverty that are springing up all over the place. And that's it for the comments. There's some comments underneath those comments. I'm not going to bother reading those. We've already spent quite a while going through this article here. The main point is women need to step up their game and be like, look, I want to get married and have kids. That's what you need to do, ladies. I know life's not going to be a grand adventure of you jet setting off to Dubai because you have this rich millionaire stud muffin of a husband. But the reality is that very few women get to experience that sort of thing. Most women lead mundane lives. And would you rather lead a mundane life where you go and punch a clock every day, 5 days a week at 9 a.m. and come home after 5? for somebody who doesn't really care about you? Or would you rather take on the burden of having children? A lot of women are complaining about this. Like, I want to have kids and I can't. There's a lot of men who want to have kids and they don't get the opportunity to. So all these people out here complaining that they want to have kids, but they can't. And women are the ones who are in charge of dating and relationships in the world. Men have the inferior position. Women have the high ground when it comes to dating, by far. So you tell me who's to blame for this. It's the woke, spreading their lies and deceit to modify your behavior for whatever twisted agenda they have. That's all I got for this time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.